Thanks for tuning in to the Urban Scope podcast. I'm back with more hip hop news. Now, very exciting news that Nas and DJ Premier's album finally has a title and it finally has a release date. Now, the title is called Light Years, which is an interesting title. And then it's releasing on December 12th. So, in just a few weeks here. And this will be Nas's third collab album. Of course, it's probably like his 15th album altogether. But there's not much information about this album other than DJ Premier will be producing the entire album, and it appears to be 15 tracks on this album, which I'm excited about as well because I like the shorter, concise albums. I don't want to see 20 something songs from artists. 12 to 15 range is about right. I'm pretty sure there's an intro and maybe a skit and an interlude. So it might be about 12 real songs in this album. So it should be straight to the point. Greatness. Like a lot of people wasn't a fan of the Nas and Kanye album that they put together because it was only 7 songs, but I liked it because it was straight to the point, and then you can listen to it several times without feeling like you spent the whole day listening to the project. And a lot of artists now think if you can just throw a bunch of songs at people, then a few will catch on, and then you'll have a classic album. But that's not really the formula for success. I think the formula for success is just putting your best songs out there, even if it's 10 songs, and letting the people decide what that project is. But you can't really determine it for the people. But just getting a little off sidetrack. But I expect greatness from Nas on this project, as his previous ones have been, especially with the DJ Premier who has classic production and classic beats. Um, so I expect nothing different from this, but this just him announcing this album, especially this late in his career, made me think about the greatness of Nas and how Nas has been so consistent. Because you talk about when you think about the greatest rappers of all time debate, you they think about Biggie, they think about Pac, they think about Jay-Z, think about Nas, and then they throw Lil Wayne in there now. But when you think about Biggie and Pac, they died younger in their careers. They died, before 25 or younger. So they didn't get a chance to put out many projects as they could have. They didn't have the longevity. We didn't get to see them grow, unfortunately. And rest in peace to Tupac and Biggie. We think about it, Jay Z. He's had the longevity, but he's took hiatus. He's retired once or twice before. He has his hands in a bunch of different pots, and it seems like music is not the priority anymore. But Nas, even though he has different priorities now, especially with the casino that he got, the different ventures he's a part of, he's a businessman as well now, and he's been very successful at it away from music. But it seems like he always comes back to the music, and that's his priority because that was his first love. Because Nas started off as a teenager rapping, and Illmatic coming out all the way in 1994, and for 2025 for him to still be doing it at such a high level, where with no drop off, it seemed like he's getting better. It's just phenomenal to me, and it just shows you how much he loves this music thing. Because I think Jay Z loves music, but I think now he's more of a businessman than a hip hop artist. And most people will say that because hip hop is not as lucrative as it once was, or maybe it was never more lucrative than away from the music anyway. But for Nas, it's a love, it's a passion, it's the sport. It's rapping in the park where hip hop started from. Nas always gives me that vibe. And fortunately, he has thrived through all the different genres of rap, whether it be the snap music or it be the drug dealing rap or it be the auto tune rap. Um, what else? The dance era, the drill era. The auto tune. He's survived all these different eras and still remained number one to me because of just the way he never conformed to all of this stuff. You had artists who conform to the auto tune, who conform to the dance songs, and they're not here anymore in the music game. Nas has always kept the conscious rap, stuck to the five pillars of hip hop. He's always stuck to those. Meanwhile, other artists try to conform and try to catch. try to catch a rhythm or catch a groove or catch a trend, and they're not here anymore. Not to say that Jay ever did that. He never really conformed either. But to me, Nas is the Tom Brady of rap. When you think about Tom Brady, he was great in an era where defense and running the football was primary. But then he thrived when the system or the motive changed to, oh, we're going to be a passing league, and everybody's passing the football, throwing the football down the field, throwing it 30, 40 times a game, where opposed to used to be like 20 times a game. So they're doubling up the passing, and that's what Nas is doing. He is the greatest to me because he didn't have to transform his style. He just stayed afloat and just stayed the course. And he was so consistent, still dropping projects every 2 years or so. Even meanwhile, still making all this money away from music and having all these ventures, it's just impressive to me. So, but Nas will never get credit from the pop world because he never made songs for the club or made songs for the young kids. He made songs for his era and for what time he was. That's why I never really believed Andre 3000 when he says what he's going to rap about at age 50. Nas still has figured it out, and there's a way around it. Your fan base will carry with you. So when you talk about stuff that older rappers talk about, your fans going to be older as well. They'll get it. So there's a way around it. But Nas, I think, will continue to make timeless music, and I expect Light Years to be the same. So, and it appears to be a somewhat concise project, as I said before. So, of course, when the album releases on December 12th, so probably maybe within a week after that, I will be releasing a review of the album. And until next time, I'll see you next time.